You can run them, you can drive them, build them, fly them, even eat them. There's one thing they all share. They're all made in the USA. Known for its large-scale innovation, America has paved the way in the manufacturing world.
When you can make things, you can do anything. It's that kind of destiny that America should always be striving for.
Join us as we look at just a few of the things that are made in this country every day.
It can be done, and we're doing it.
It's made in the USA on Modern Marvel.
Over the last 2 centuries, the United States has carved its way into becoming one of the superpowers of production. However, with a globalized economy changing the face of the manufacturing world, made in the USA has taken on a new meaning. But the U.S. is still the #1 manufacturer in the world, churning out over $1.5 trillion worth of goods a year. So what is the United States still making these days? The answer might surprise you. For 75 years, New Balance has been crafting athletic footwear for both the professional and everyday athlete. Originally founded in Boston in the early 1900s, New Balance has made a commitment to ensure at least 25% of its athletic shoes sold in North America are manufactured on U.S. soil.
There are 5 domestic factories between Massachusetts and Maine.
These 5 factories staff over 2,000 employees. And one of those factories lies in the heart of Skowhegan, Maine. In 1965, there were over 29,000 shoe jobs in Maine. Today, less than 10% of those jobs remain.
It's important. It's not something you see every day. You know, a lot of stuff you see made in China, Japan, overseas. I think it's important that we still have something here in the United States keeping us busy. You know what I mean?
It just gives me pride. You know, it's putting people to work. It's a great thing.
The factory is making New Balance's most popular technical shoe sold in North America, the men's size 10.5 model 993. By the end of the day, 3,000 pairs of shoes will be boxed and ready for the customers. The factory floor consists of 7 separate stations: rolled goods, embroidery, pre-fit, computer stitching, manual stitching, sole preparation, and assembly area.
The process of shoemaking is very interesting. We start right off with rolled goods coming in on the dock. Those goods go to the cutting tables where the cutters cut those parts.
Over 30 components will build the top of the shoe, or what is called the upper. But before the upper is pieced together, the tongue makes a quick pit stop to the embroidering room, where the Made in the USA label comes to life. These machines run at 800 RPMs, or 800 stitches per minute. At this rate, they spin over 9 miles of thread each and every day. The upper begins to take form at the computerized stitching area. This is where the collar straps and signature ends are added. To ensure consistent stitch lines, these machines utilize what is called C technology. Using lighting and cameras, a machine will take 1,000 pictures a second to follow the line of the shoe.
So the machine will correct itself if there's any imperfections that we're making. That's very innovative machinery.
After the core components are added, the shoe moves to manual stitching, or the closing area. This process relies on a more traditional sewing technique. the steady hands of the operator. This station speaks a language of its own. Here, they stitch the sprung tip, crimp the collar lining, and bonus close the heel. Only one size is made on any given day, ranging from a woman's 4 all the way up to a men's 18 quadruple E. Once the upper is completed, the shoe is steamed to form the heel and toe. At the same time, the sole is sprayed with hot melt cement, which is the gluing agent that keeps the sole and upper together. It is then placed in a flash activator that applies quick, intense heat to ignite the adhesive. The sole and upper are then sealed and pressed. The insert is added. The shoe is laced, inspected, and boxed for shipment.
The average New Balance athletic shoe takes 32 to 36 people to assemble. I've heard the analogy that we're not building watches many times, and sometimes I wonder if that's true. The amount of technology that goes into this shoe, the quality that we're looking for, the tolerances of the stitching and the stitch lines. So, as I said, I'm not sure we aren't building watches. It is pretty tight what we do every single day.
Any one of the 5 U.S. New Balance plants produces between 3,000 to 7,000 pairs of shoes a day. For this company, much of the enjoyed success can be credited to the most unlikely of muses, the chicken. Boston, Massachusetts, 1906. English immigrant William Riley set out to create prescription footwear that would alleviate arch pain for those who spend their workdays standing up. He developed an arch support based on the structure of the 3-pronged chicken foot, which Riley believed exemplified perfect balance. Fusing this concept with his knowledge of the human foot, the New Balance legacy was born. Over the next several decades, the New Balance shoe has developed into a complex piece of athletic footwear. But the race to perfection continues. At the New Balance Sports Lab in Lawrence, Massachusetts, engineers are working on the next generation of running shoes to be made in America. Utilizing the latest in motion sensor technology, a runner is monitored by 8 high-speed cameras, taking 200 pictures a second. This information is then rendered into 3D animations for the engineers to analyze.
We can utilize this information to calculate exactly the joint angles and segment motion we're looking to investigate.
This approach allows the team to design a product that will better respond to a runner's needs.
Our goal is to allow athletes to perform as best they can any given day of the week. We're going to make very small, minute changes that maybe the athlete doesn't even realize that's going to give them a second on an 800. A second is the difference between first and eighth.
After a new shoe has been developed, it's sent to the Smash Lab.
This machine's a servo-hydraulic unit that can produce very large quantities of force and can do so in very short bursts of time.
In just a few minutes, the Mini Bionics unit can inflict the wear and tear of a 3-hour marathon run.
So the Mini Bionics unit basically allows us to produce anywhere from 0 to 5,000 pounds of force. In this case, you're seeing the shoe being impacted 10 times per second. But when we're evaluating this type of product, we want to make sure that it's going through its utmost durability and making sure that nothing's going to break down over time or crack over time. So essentially, this is a pretty extreme test, but a pretty important test for our customers.
The Smash Lab isn't necessarily the toughest exercise the New Balance brand will endure. For over 2 decades, New Balance has provided athletic footwear for every branch of the armed forces. Each pair is specialized with the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Navy, and Marine Corps emblems for the servicemen and women of the United States military.
People should care about the fact that New Balance is making shoes domestically because it's unique. Because so much we believe is not being done domestically anymore. We believe in the domestic workforce. We believe in their creativity, their innovation, and their ability to meet demand. It can be done, and we're doing it.
While New Balance was born to run, the Segway PT was built to ride. We're dissecting this gravity-defying unit to find out just how it stands on two wheels. For a product to be labeled Made in the USA, the Federal Trade Commission requires that at least 70% of the parts and labor come from the United States. Made in the USA will return on Modern Marvels.